I know we've had this conversation, but for the benefit of those that never really caught it, how did you really get into the business? Like, I always tell my story. My story is already different. I always tell people like I got into it accidentally. So when I was So for me, when I was completing school, I didn't have any ambition of becoming an entertainer. I knew I was rapping.
Yeah.
Before I completed school, we used to rap in a group with me, 4-4. We used to call ourselves Precise. But it was just one of those, like, you know, for me, I never really took it too seriously because I never fancied myself as a rapper. I knew I could rap, but, you know, it was one of those where it's like, I don't think that's my true calling. So when I completed school, I thought I was going to go to uni. I thought I was going to go to UNZA, get a white-collar job. I was going to become an IT specialist. So it was all by accident. So I started working in a pharmacy. Then, you know, I had a radio. I started listening to radio, and I was so drawn to radio. Then I became a radio presenter. Then my interest for music came back, and I got into music production, and that's where everything now just... And I taught myself how to produce. Well, I learned a few things from Roberto and a couple of people, but I taught myself most of those things to do what I had to do. And I remember it was like, but DJ trying to be a producer. So mine is different, but yours, obviously, you premeditated, like, I want to be an artist.
I think...
At what age was that?
I think yours and mine are not too different, actually. My dad was an accountant. I wanted to be an accountant. But by the time I was getting to like the 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th, I knew I sucked at math, and I didn't want to spend the rest of my life really, you know, battling with that stuff. But also, I think both my parents really loved music. So there was always music around the house. Disco, rumba, reggae, you know what I mean? So there were records and cassette tapes for all sorts of music. So music was always around the house. But I think by the time I was getting to like the 5th, 6th grade, I had like lyrics, Tupac lyrics in my school books and so on and so forth.
We all did.
So
and we used to write the wrong lyrics.
Exactly. So depending on where you were and who your friends were, like girls had these they were called auto books. Where there were no biography. Guys had like
lyric books.
No, most guys had like this book that you've gotten to my cutouts from magazines for football players
musicians,
and football players actually. Like most of them were for football players. But yeah, lyrics we used to write in our books. So, like what I was saying, like yours and mine are sort of similar somewhere is. There was this one time we went to watch like rehearsals for like a variety show that we're going to have at the end of the term. And there was this kid who was rapping with like a lisp. And he had the crowd going and everybody was cheering, and I was like, he ain't all that. I could do better than that, and I don't even rap. And they were like, you are a hater. So I made them a bet. I told them, okay, tomorrow I'll come back and I'll take part. And I bet you I'll be better than him. And that's how I wrote like my first rap. And when I performed
hear it. Do you remember anything?
No, I don't remember it. But when I performed